Hello, hello. I think. Hello. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm outside. And I'm trying to see if my new headphones, I don't do technology very often. And I always get like the bootleg technology. So I'm not trying to be infiltrated by. Hey, on. Yellow, yellow. Check on in. Please put a handy dandy like as you step into the room. Check on in. Oh, Vicious Wolf. Hey, Vicious Wolf. Hey, everybody. I'm outside gardening. So today is my gardening day. So you're seeing me in like my overalls. I just took a break because I had this revelation. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Star Rose. You've got that hearty cough. You know that cough that the Matrix is like initiating out here with all the chemtrails. Yeah, like that. Check on him. We could talk like we used to, right? You're watching from work, Stephanie? Hey, Stephanie. Keep it down. Like, put your headphones on so they can't hear. Because, if they know that you're listening to me, anything can happen. Hey, Extra Ernie TV. Do I take $10 questions? I can't be bought. No, I don't take $10 questions. It's like am I a cheap prostitute? Vanessa, do I seem like a cheap prostitute? $10. I'm joking with you, Vanessa. I'm just joking. No, I don't do that. I'm not a psychic. I don't do that. I do like kikis, but that's only if I feel like it. Dutch Brothers, do you know about that, Wise? Don't play with me, Wise. Wise, do you know about Dutch Brothers? Listen, I'm off Starbucks for obvious reasons, right? And, I found an alternative that's kind of cool. I'm outside. Oh, my legs. I'm outside. I wanted to sit outside because I was gardening. And I wanted to use my GoPro. I've got my GoPro, y'all. My doggies are staring at me too. Like if I'm in the backyard with the dogs, they're going to be really loud because I've got wolves, y'all. You said the Google pimp gets 70%. Yo, my butt got smaller, so I can feel my buttocks now. I haven't got the, what is it, the BBL? What is it? What is it called? The BBL? What is it called? A Brazilian butt lift. Okay, so it's BBL. I haven't got a BBL. I got a booty, but I like when my booty is not too big. It matches the rest of my body. Because I'm a big buxom front. I can't have a big booty too. Because if I got both, then I'm going to look like some sort of character walking like an NPC, a cosplayer. I'm trying to look real. I'm trying to be real. Check on him. I'm outside. My haircut. I love y'all, I know many of you asked, like, what happened to, I cut my hair, y'all. I love it. It's so much healthier. I had so much hair. Someone was like, what happens to FleurBrun? Listen, I did the big chop. Woo, good Lord. My hair had grown down to like my practically, gratefully, I always say gratefully my hair grows really fast. But my hair had grown so long, y'all. It took me like hours to detangle it. I couldn't do it anymore. So I did it on a full moon. I cut it a couple times. So like I just did it again. I'll probably have it long by, it'll be nice. It'll be nice and long by, hey Yafi, you like my haircut? It's cute and my curls are really pretty. So I like my haircut. And then when I wear it like a little straight, it looks really pretty. It's just so much hair. Yafi has a lot of hair too. Everybody loves your hair when it's really long and thick, but they don't realize like you have to go through I'm like most normal people use like one bottle of shampoo. I gotta use like a whole I use like a whole bottle of shampoo for like one wash because I can't get all my hair. So yeah, so I like my cut. So it looks really nice. It feels really good. And my curls are popping. My curls are popping. Check on it. You too, Eden? I know people love long hair. And you know it's crazy because everybody wears a lot of false hair that they think that everybody wants long hair is beautiful, but it is like real long hair. It is like you have to really just work it through it. You just you know what I'm saying? Like I think the grass is always greener on the other side. Like people with really long thick hair always try to get their hair like really tamed and shorter, and people with really short hair always want long hair. I think it's just like the nature of the human, right? Yeah, I can't deal with a bottle of shampoo. I only have to use half a bottle of shampoo now to do my hair because I make a shampoo with like pine. It's looking like cousin Grin Adam. Yeah, eggshell oracle. I mean, it's beautiful, but listen. Anyway, enough about hair. Check on it, everybody. I'm outside. I can talk to you. Can you hear me through my new microphone? Can you hear me? I'm just trying it out today. I'm sitting in the front. There's like tons of chemtrails, y'all. Ever since I moved here, they've just been chemtrailing. Oh, Quantum Sensei Fenugreek is awesome for the hair. You've got long, thick hair too, Sensei. Sensei is even longer, thicker. Well, I don't know if your hair is, no, your hair is just as thicker. We have different texture, but your hair is really long and thick. You know what I mean? You hear my wolves? You hear the wolves? You should have a wig of your own. Hair? Oh no, I kept the hair for the baby dolls, for my grandbabies. I kept my hair for my grandbaby dolls. So you know, you keep Joey, you said Jesus is king. What you trying to do? You trying to gaslight me? Don't come in here with that religious jargon. I know you're under mind control, but this is not the channel, Joey. I know that you think Jesus is king, but you know that J didn't exist back in the ancient times, right? So Joey, please, I'm gonna block you. You don't want to be blocked. I'm trying to enlighten you. I know that you think Jesus is your personal God and Savior, but this is not the channel. I will mess with your peace of mind. So I'm sorry, I don't want to do it, but you know there wasn't any J's, right? Okay? I'm just going to thank you, Jamoji. I didn't want to do it to you because you know it's Lent. I know you religious fanatics come in here trying to pray for me. You should pray for yourselves and your consciousness, because the fact that you still think that that character is somebody who's going to save you, you are mentally ill. Okay? You could believe it, but this is not the channel for you. Don't come here, please. Please, I don't worship men and balls, okay? And if he existed, it was a she, okay? It was a woman, 13, okay? Don't get me started, all right? We're going to start on a topic when we hit 500. They're trying to gaslight me already, y'all. They're trying to gaslight me. Don't come in here with your religious jargon, you know, because I'm already living around all the Catholics. You know, I was raised like a Catholic, a Roman Catholic. Don't play with me. I don't do that whole eating Jesus, drinking from the wine, the blood of Christ, eating the wafers like it's a flesh. You guys are a whole bunch of cannibals, motherfuckers. Putting ash on your third eye to block the information coming during the spring equinox. Don't play with me. Hola. Buenas tardes. No, it says buenos dias. Bon dia. Bon dia, if you're in Brazil, and if you're in Portugal, is bon dia. I have a friend who's over in Lisbon right now. Bon dia, because it's bon dia if you're in Portugal, but it's bon dia, the gia. You get the deep gia when you're in Brazil. You like my Sphinx, everybody? It's beautiful, right? You know how much that weighs? I don't know why I move with it. I can't even I picked that sucker up. He tried to break my back. Bon dia. Hello, everyone. I'm waiting until we get to 500, so I'm playing with you. I'm going to do my announcement about my mental health issues in a minute, okay? So YouTube can leave me the heck alone. I like when YouTube leaves me alone because I told them I'm a comedian, and this is all a mental illness, skit. And because I'm a comedian, this is a skit, they generally, hopefully, gratefully will leave me alone. So the only thing when you cut your hair is I cut my bangs again, and it's in my face, and that's the only thing I don't like. but it's okay. You'll get to see my hair when I have it wrapped. It's so pretty. It's gonna grow back in 2.5 seconds, but I'm gonna enjoy the shortcut while I have it. Join on in. Come on in. You've been watching for 4 years? The bald-headed Hierophant? Hey. Hey, love. You like my old videos? When I was in the pool acting saucy? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about my trans panda and my trans frog journey. Okay. You like my bangs? I love my hair. Like, you know when you get a fresh haircut? When you get a fresh hair, yeah, for entertainment purposes only. Listen, when you get a fresh haircut, don't you feel like really good? And I really feel like spiritually, when women, like when we have a lot of like, if we have sadness or we have things pent up, it's in the hair. So like, I feel like when I do a trim, a nice, especially a nice big cut, it almost feels like you're freeing yourself. Don't you feel like, it almost feels like you're releasing. I felt it this time because I did it, you didn't see it. Like you all just saw my long ponytail. I did like a cut before, you couldn't see it because it looked crazy in the back. I did a cut before and then I did a gradual cut. I do it on the full moon. I did a gradual cut and then I did a real big cut and I feel so much lighter. So it does free you up. And also like if you have any health things going on, like I've heard of people when they're really sick, getting a haircut does help to quicken the process. Oh, you shed the past to being in the new. Thank you, Ixchel or Oracle. Where are you from? Are you Mexicano? Their name is beautiful. That's very Mayan, or actually, there's a lot of the sea stars that are in Mexico. Big up to our sea stars that are over in Oaxaca. Did I say it right? Oaxaca? Oh, Latina. Yeah, Oaxaca. We have some homegirls in Oaxaca. They're such great. They're doing a healing. They're at the healing. They're doing a healing jungle visit. Like they're over there. I think they're going to be butt naked. I love it. I love it. They're going to be butt naked, talking to the goddesses, and they're going to bring in the spring equinox. Yo, my Mexicana sea stars are the bomb.com. Like they got it. Oaxaca. Thank you, Divine Femme Energy. Oaxaca. Oh, that's Damache. Oaxaca. Thank you, my loves. I try to speak really good Spanish because I live in a Spanish area, and French is my first language. I'm waiting until we get to 500, y'all, so I'll just chat with you until everyone comes in. But French is my first language. Portuguese is, no, first language, English second, Portuguese third, and Spanish, Spanglish. Spanglish is my fourth, right? I love speaking, and then I want to get better at speaking some of the other languages. Like when you speak a Latin language, it's easier for you to speak the others. That's what I find. Because a lot of the words that we use are interchangeable, and it's very easy to pronounce. But when I start to speak, like I don't speak. Only thing I could say in Japanese is konnichiwa or ni hao. I could say ni hao in Chinese or konnichiwa, and jambo in Swahili. I don't speak German. My grandmother spoke the most languages in our country. Remember my grandmother? She spoke, and Hebrew. I learned Hebrew in Hebrew school. I learned Hebrew. I can't speak it very well now, but I did take Hebrew classes. I'm a sad, y'all. We want to speak everything. We want to be able to talk to everybody. But I want to at least speak German. My grandmother spoke. She was the oldest person in the United States who spoke the most languages. So she spoke. Hi, how are you? You hear my wolves? The lady's walking her dog. She spoke the most languages. So she spoke French, obviously, Spanish, full proficient Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, German. She spoke a little bit of Yiddish. She spoke Yiddish because in Europe at the time when everything was happening, a lot of the Jewish people from Eastern Europe would come across, like she'd come across them. And because she was such a lingual, like she was really lingually sound, she could speak a little Yiddish. Like I remember this rabbi being shocked that she spoke some Yiddish. She was such a cutie pie. You guys, you could watch a video before she transitioned. She's such a beautiful, She's feisty though, but she was really beautiful. She's the reason why I'm so, relentless, you know. So I want to at least speak. I want to be proficient in some of the African languages, at least proficient, and I would at least want to be able to speak some of the Mandarin or Cantonese, just because a lot of people speak it. You took French in high school? You got to really go and immerse yourself in like a French culture. Remember, each French place is different. Like Canadian French, to me, sounds more Western, like Western. It's weird because when I hear French, when I go to Canada, I love Canada. I love Montreal. Montreal is my favorite place to go in Quebec. But when I go there, my girls, because when they were little, I spoke French to them, but all my children, like when they hear French, it was so different hearing the music, like country music in Montreal, like when we crossed the border over in Vermont. They were just like this. It was so crazy. So it's really nice to hear them notice the different French tongues because they're so used to hearing me or their grandmother or other French people speak with our accent. And it's nice to see their reaction when it's a different tongue. Parisian French is different. So like when you go into the African Congo or Mozambique, their French is a little different. So it's always very different, the different accents that come along with the language. French is probably, to me, it's a beautiful language. So if you want to learn it, it's practical, especially if you're traveling through Africa. So if you go to, like, if you're traveling, and Moroccans, a lot of my Moroccan friends speak French. So my French is not as good as it used to be because obviously I've grown up so long in the States, but my French is, my cousins would say my French is garbage, but it's enough, you know what I mean? You like Portuguese? Yeah, Portuguese is nice. I just had to learn the difference between speaking Portuguese in like Lisbon and Portugal as opposed to Brazil. Brazil do a lot of the gias, like gia, like bom dia, bom tarde. Whereas like in Portugal, you say bom tarde. You don't do that je, Yeah. So I always suggest, like, if you don't speak a language, you should start speaking it now because your country's been taken over, right? Hey, Amara. Amara speaks the best Portuguese of everyone. Amara, are you in São Paulo? Are you going to be in São Paulo? We'll see you over there maybe. Yeah. Maybe we'll see you when you're down there if you're going with the children. So we're going to try to get down to Brazil soon. There's a French song that's trending right now. Yeah, French is it's a beautiful language. You headed to São Paulo? Good. Tell me how it's going down there. They just kicked out the Israel embassy. You know that, right? Yo, Brazilians are buck wild. You know that? I'm going to wait until we get to 500, y'all. I'm just going to chat with you for a minute. So can someone do the timestamp when we start so that people who are listening afterwards will know when we start the conversation? Yeah. They just kicked out the Israeli consulate. I don't know what happened. Probably pissed them off with what's going on in Palestine. Because Brazil, I don't think many of you know, Brazil takes strong stance on certain things. You know that, right? You don't know it too often because they're not really a country that, I don't really think globally you see them participate too much in a lot of different politics. But many of you don't know, Brazil has a great relationship with Haiti. And they have given lots of aid to Haiti. I don't think you guys know that, right? It's really quite, hey, Watana. They give a lot of aid to a lot of different places. And it's never spoken about because America doesn't want you to know that they actually help a lot of the other countries, the brown countries. America doesn't want you to know because America is the biggest disgusting parasite. Like you don't even know that the U.S. is all in Haiti, living fat off the hog, using all their resources, and that's why Haiti's destabilized. And what's going on, and Marie just gave me the word of what's going on in Haiti right now, Haiti, is you think what's going over, they said the gangs broke up all of Haiti and broke out of jail. No, the president was a sellout globalist working with the United States to destroy the country and sucking off of the country and destroying the people. So the people took back Haiti. So if you listen to the news right now, you would think Haiti is destabilized and it's all a whole bunch of hoodlums and gang members, but but these are revolutionaries that just took over the country again from the savages that are eating over there. Because there's a part of Haiti where all the wealthy people eat and they're all safe and they're where they live and they're living fat off the hog. You don't realize the USA is the biggest bully and egregious parasite throughout the entire world. And what England won't do, personally, it will send its henchmen, which live in the United States. So it's really disgusting. Okay, y'all, we're going to start off. Is that okay? Can you do this timestamp now, y'all? Do the timestamp. Okay. Peace, everyone. Peace to the east, west, north, and south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today. So we're going to talk about bloodlines versus the cosplaying NPCs that we are seeing taking over the entire matrix and all of the social media. Okay. Let me do my PSA. I am a trans. I am protected by trans rights. I am a trans frog. I look a little froggy today. I am a trans frog. I am a trans, I added something, y'all. I am a trans frog. I am a trans panda. I am a trans bird. I am also a trans snake, a serpent. And I am a Ashkenazi white Jewish man and a deranged black man. Okay? So please don't come for me. I'm a part of the trans community. I am part of the ABCD, EFGHIJK, LGBTQRSTW, rainbows and flags and purple lipstick. Okay? So leave me alone. Okay? I am deranged. This is a comedy skit. I am mentally ill. I am suffering from all kinds of mental illness, living in this matrix with a whole bunch of sociopaths. I am trying to work through my issues of mental illness, trying to use the social platform to kind of free me from my mental disturbing concepts in my head. But unfortunately, I'm here right now. So that's my PSA. So if anybody says anything, they'll be like, FleurBrun told you she was mentally ill. She told you she was a frog. She told you that she was a snake now. Like, now I'm a snake. So when I say she's a serpent, yes, I am. I am slithering all over the place. All right, let's get into the topic. So as we always talk about, that I always kind of speak about the fact that bloodlines matter. And, I really love the Zombies. We kind of had these conversations all the time. And, it's important for you to realize that they haven't been promoting for you to know your blood types. I learned that as being in YouTube for a long time. Like I remember years ago, I was on YouTube and I had just assumed a lot of people knew their blood types. And I remember being on the show. I forgot if it was Aline Bay. Big up to Aline Bay and his wife. I love them. They're in North Carolina. Really sweethearts. They were at the conference when I was there with, that's when Brother Polite, but not Brother Polite, Brother Panic and a couple other speakers. Dr. Valentine was there. Rich held the event with Sonetta. That was the last time I did an event in Harlem, New York. But anyway, I noticed that a lot of people didn't know their blood types, right? So I was shocked because I'm thinking to myself, like, everyone in my family knew their blood type, and it was a big deal because we were well aware. And many of my beginning out of getting out of college was genetics. So, I studied heredity and genetics. My primary focus at the time was Alzheimer's and dementia, and Parkinson's. So, I started off in that field. That's why you hear me talk about it. And I'm proficient enough. I'm not because I didn't hold into the field well into, my more seasoned years now, but I held a lot of information that wasn't really relative back then. I don't really think I knew later on how relative me having this type of background would be in genetics, So it was important that I found out that the majority of people that I was speaking to online hadn't any clue of their blood lineage and their blood types. And that's concerning. Why is it concerning? Because a lot of the prescriptions, a lot of your Western medical practices, whenever you go and you engage with any medical facility or doctors or prescription, you are basically being you're initiating yourself into a a chemicalized contract with these demons. Okay. And a lot of the medication, a lot of the prescriptions, a lot of Western medicine weaponizes it towards certain people that they deem to be lesser, or people, and it's not that they think they're lesser, they actually think they're stronger because they wouldn't be weaponizing medication and medical practices against them. They actually think they're stronger, so they're trying to weaken that bloodline. And it's important for you all to know. And I always talk to you that as much as we talk about complexions and, you know, lighter and darker ancestors, you must understand and understand that I'm an O positive. So I use myself as an example. And I have sea stars on here that are lunar, lighter skin, my lighter skin cousins, kind of like how you have a cat, and a cat can have polka dot babies, striped babies, white and black babies. We come from the same lineage. Like if you trace all of us O positives, you will see we have common ancestors, okay? And we have common sensitivities, and we have common challenges, okay? So it's important for you to know that, like in Mexico, I share a lot of lineage with our sea stars because I come from the Carib. And many of you know I talk about me coming from the Caribs and also the Taino. And the Taino is just from my father's side. My mother's side, we're all Carib, okay? Carib tribe. Many of the non-tribal people don't know about the Carib. But in the Caribbean, we are all in South America, Central America, and in the Caribbean. Our ancestors are all in there. So that's why we generally tend to look alike. We have similar backgrounds. Oh, can you guys not hear me? Am I talking too low? Should I take this out? Or are you okay? Can I take this out or is it okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, it's okay? Okay. Just let me know if it gets low because I normally don't use this. Okay. So, like I talk about, it's important for you to know these things. Like, and it's really sad and challenging that a lot of times when we do research or clinical research, a lot of our research doesn't come out to the public because it is privatized. Like if we're contracted by a facility or a person, because remember, a lot of research is done through grants. Like we get grant programs. Many of you know who work in the healthcare field independently, you know. So like you can have someone who contracts you to do research on maybe certain kind of lipids or bacteria or forms of like, remember I worked more with the brain. So, and I talk about how it was hard to see the rats being experimented on and the scientists being really, really not empathetic or sympathetic towards these animals in the labs. It was hard. And you know, FleurBrun is all about the animals. You know, if that's anything you know about me, I have such a hypersensitivity to how they feel. And people be like, they're rats. Well, why would you think that they don't feel pain? Why would you feel like a rat doesn't feel any pain? Rats are really smart and they actually remember you and they're actually loving. They don't have a long lifespan. They have 5 years lifespan and they actually create bonds and they have their own tribal base. Like, why would you think that because they're animals that they would be, that's why we live with sociopaths, because they think it's okay to experiment, hurt, harm things just because it's not them. You know, it's really quite awful. But anyway, I don't want to kind of get on that because it makes me sad. But anyway, so you know, I'm contracted to see different types of work on different. It depends on the trial. So it could be for 6 months, it could be for 6 years, it could be for. You said Abid Muhammad. You said they're soulless. How would you know that? How do you know they're soulless? That's what they say about brown people. You know that, right? They say brown people are soulless. Do I seem soulless to you? Do I seem like my mother and father was soulless and they birthed me as a soulless beings? Because that's why a lot of the colonizers were able to destroy, rape, kill, and pillage all of our tribes. So just like you can say an animal doesn't have a soul, what makes you think that, how far does that go to? You know what I mean? How far do we go with the soullessness? And doesn't matter that someone doesn't have a soul, they still feel pain. Animals feel pain. They feel sadness. When their babies die, they cry. So why would you think that shouldn't matter? Because we eat them, like we consume them, or we just don't care and they're pestilence? I mean, everything has a purpose. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep on that because we're talking about bloodlines, but just be mindful. Just think a little deeper about that. Like, we're supposed to be more advanced, right? And we are supposed to be a more evolved version of other beings like animals and so on. And part of that evolvement and that consciousness that's supposed to be expanded, we're supposed to have a level of empathy and sympathy for others and animals, insects, and everything. When does that, where does it begin and where does it end? Okay? That's all. Just think about it. Everyone's consciousness is different, but just think about it. I'm not telling you to make friends with rats, but I worked in a laboratory and I saw these beautiful little beings being tortured and hurt, and at the expense of benefiting us. And maybe that's why we have a whole bunch of diseases now, because karmically we're paying for mistreating and, trying to uphold our life at the expense of other lives. Like, you just have to think about that. Anyway, you're talking to the right one. So you already know, Muhammad, I'm very animal friendly, and that's something I'm very sensitive about. But let's get into the bloodlines. So we have many different bloodlines. And when you're interfacing in the medical field, whether you're going to the hospital, whether you go to a doctor, whether you're seeing your GYN, you're seeing your gynecologist, your going to your primary doctor, you're engaging with beings that are taking the information that they've learned in their medical on their medical journey and their education, and you're trusting you with your life, with your biosphere. And in and of itself, you have to realize that most of the research that's done and most of the biological research that's utilized in making certain prescriptions is solely, and I could say maybe it's extended a little further, but especially when I was younger, it was solely done on lunar males, not even females. Sometimes females when it has to do GYN specific, but mostly lunar males. And you have to think alchemically, brown people or people that are indigenous like myself, we aren't able to engage with chemicals the same way that someone who's, first of all, who's a male would have the interface chemically with anything that we're using. And certainly, many of you don't realize melanin, which is what I have on the surface of my skin and my hair and my eyes, it has a chemical reaction to certain medications, and certain alchemically it isn't cohesive with a lot of the medications, the Western medications. And yes, plants too, Muhammad. Plants, I'm not saying we shouldn't eat, but I'm just saying to have a level of compassion, Muhammad. I understand you're saying like plants are sentient as well. They feel pain. They can turn to the sun. They react to touch and song and music. So everything is sentient. It's just having a level of awareness and compassion and empathy. And to engage with something like Muhammad, if you're, I'm assuming by your name, you're from Islam, right? And you pray. And even when we engage with halal, right? Halal, meat, and also kosher, the Jewish do the kosher, there's a level of clearing that needs to happen before we engage with meat, right? In the Islamic faith. You don't eat meat that's foul or been killed heinously, where the blood and the pain is existing in that flesh. So there is a ritual that's done with the meat within the Islamic faith, and also with the Judaic faith if you're kosher or engaging in halal. And it clears the blood and the emotions and the frequency that is within that animal's blood or the meat, right? So I'm just saying, like, we can say that everything has emotions and feelings, but it's just a level of just having an awareness that exists. Oh, you are more than Muslim? You are a spiritualist first? I am a soul. Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that. And I acknowledge that. Okay, so when we're engaging with medications, so, I have friends like big up to An, I have I have some of my Asian family, and when they go to doctors, they go to Asian doctors. My Jewish family, like my Judaic family, like in Brooklyn or wherever they live, they go to Jewish doctors. My lunar family, you know, because they live in the United States, if they're American or even in Europe, most of them go to European doctors, doctors that look like them. And I know for a fact that my lunar girlfriends, that if they go a doctor, all their doctors are mostly look like them and come from similar backgrounds. Why is it that brown people in the United States, whether they're indigenous or not, are going to doctors that are actually the opposite of them? Why are they giving their blood, their information, their genetic information, or engaging with doctors that sometimes have really strong biases, but don't have the medical information directly connected to what is best and what causes more issues for them? I don't understand that. And I realized that, you know, as I travel the world, I traveled the world, right? I haven't done really Africa yet, so it's kind of limited because Africa is most of the world, right? But as I travel the world, I realized that the majority of people that are brown that engage in Western medicine, they usually have lesser lifespans. And brown people who go to doctors or areas where there's more proficiency in their genetics, they tend to live longer. So when you look at the statistics and they say that brown people have lower lifespans, but they have stronger DNA, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because we should be going to doctors that are us. And remember, us could be very different things because blood lineage matters. Like, I've talked about the fact that I feel, this is my opinion, I feel like the whole Western society is weaponized against O positives. They try to kill us off. And how do I know this? Because working in genetics and knowing certain foods and certain types of water, even certain chemicals that we put in certain medication is absolutely a detriment and harmful to people, not only of just darker skin, but are harmful to O positives. Even during the cucarachas, when the cucarachas came out and everyone was saying, and they brought in false news saying, oh, it's the A's that are dying from cucarachas. Oh my God, they're the ones who are most affected. That was a lie. That was a bait and switch because during cucarachas, the number one person affected, and that's how I know it was weaponized towards O positives, were O positives. O positives were dying in droves, and they have the highest amount of regenerativeness. But they have a certain blood quality that congeals, so the blood gets thicker. Like if there's any sort of inflammation with O positive, their blood thickens. And because they weren't really concerned or really trying to protect themselves because they felt like they weren't the number one target with cucarachas, a lot of them unfortunately transitioned even before the shots. And it's really quite sad. So I'm here as a representation of O positive, and I will share information about the bloodlines that I feel like right now there's bloodline wars. And I've also talked about the fact that when a woman is pregnant and she's an O negative and she gives birth, she has a baby in her tummy that's positive Rus, she will kill that baby in her womb. And she has to take a shot. Usually, now there are always exceptions to the rules, but generally, that baby won't survive in an O negative's womb because her blood will kill the baby. Now, what's interesting about that is that they tell you that O negative is the universal blood type that everybody can take. So, if that was true, why, if it's a universal blood type that you can give to every blood type, including positive, why then when a negative Rus is carrying a positive Rus, it kills it? So now you have to think that the blood banks that are carrying the majority, O negative, and all these O positives, B positives, A positives are getting blood sometimes after surgery if they need it. They're taking in negative blood that isn't meant for them, that is actually going to hurt them long term. That's what I'm talking about. It's a bloodline war, y'all. And why is it that we can't ever request anymore? Back in the days, and I know this for a fact, it doesn't happen anymore. Back in the days, there used to be an allotment, like if you were in a hospital and let's say your sister's sick, right? And you both share the same blood type. If she needed blood, let's say she had surgery, she lost a lot of blood, maybe she's hemorrhaging. There used to be a time that you would be allowed to give your blood, go down to the laboratory, they do a quick test just to make sure it was clean, and they would be able to pull your blood on site and then give your sister the blood immediately. How come they're not doing that anymore? Jesus is king. Okay, I'm gonna have to remove you. You're suffering from some sort of psychosis, and I really have to put you out of here. Okay, you're not being appropriate. I don't want to have to do it, but you coming in here talking about Jesus is so inappropriate. It's like you're under some sort of mind control, and you can't even hold a conversation, even if you believe that. Like we're having a conversation about blood types. Why would Jesus even come into this? Do you understand? Do you see the mind control, y'all? And we don't even know if that being is real. It's probably an NPC. It could be an NPC bot that they send in here to cause a distraction because they know that gaslights me. They know what gaslights you. So they come into the feed and they're like, oh, FleurBrun is probably going to react to this. Yeah, mother freaker, I will. Okay, so we talk about bloodlines, and I want to tell you that I blocked them, Charlotte. Thank you. I just want to talk about the fact that we have a bloodline war. And I'm talking to my positive roosters right now. Now, negative roosters, do not get gaslit because this is not to negate you. But you do know, negative roosts, especially O negatives, that the majority of your leaders, they aren't my leader. The leader on your planet, artificial Earth, are all O negative. The majority of your presidential leaders, your congressional leaders are all negative roosts, and the majority are O negative. So please don't get gaslit. We're not talking about regular O negatives that are living as normal people. They're not getting the perks, but also know that O negative, you are connected to the hive, because O negatives, they have a hive, all negative roosters, but mostly O negatives. They are connected to the hive. So you have access to all the information that all the O negatives have. I'm sure they have a lock away perimeter that they're trying to keep most of the other regular O negatives that are just regular people out, but you have access to that. So I don't want to, just know that me talking about my blood type and the weaponizing against us, this is just something I have to speak about, because a lot of O negatives, a lot of O positives don't realize that they're being attacked. Okay. So let's get into blood types, and we'll talk about A's and B's and all the other blood types as well. My butt hurts. Sorry, Paul. Maybe I do need a BBL. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. I have this like this. I'm trying to do this. Your GoPro. I don't really use stuff. I'm like ghetto. I'm like ghetto fabulous. This girl was like, "You're not really ghetto." Okay. Neither are you. Okay. That's a concept. Yeah. That's a term. All right. So, how can you O negative escape from the hive? We'll kind of talk about that too. You really have to do something different, because they can access all your information easier. That's why when I do private things like that, I don't really want O negatives in the group, because they're hives. The others, the dark Kabbalists, they can access all your thoughts and your database easier. It's wherever you come from. I don't know what planet you come from. I don't think all O negatives no, that's a lie. Your biosphere comes from somewhere else. I don't know where it does. I don't want to tell you the origin, because I would be lying to you. I don't know the origin of where you guys come from. And the dark and light O negatives. Now, if you ever talk to an O negative that's a brown person, they're super duper duper smart. It's really frightening how smart they are. And when I say frightening, they're very, very smart. I don't care if they're conscious in the way that we're conscious or not. If you ever talk, and I noticed this notably with the brown, not to say the lunars with O negative aren't smart. I'm talking about the brown ones. It makes me think that the brown O negatives are the source of the others. So it makes me think that the actual blueprint comes from the brown ones, because of how smart they are. And again, I can't tell you where they're from origin-wise. I don't know what they're not from here. None of us O's generally are from here. A's are the oldest, so they've been here longer. in this biosphere, but O's were not from here, but I don't know where the O negatives are from. But when you talk to a brown negative, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Talk to a brown negative and talk to a lunar O negative. You're going to see what I'm talking about. They have access to data. They're really smart. Like, you know that they're getting their information from somewhere else. And it's their sourcing from all the other negatives. That's why I said they're really smart. And it's just an ability that comes with them. I don't think it's negative or positive. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that's what they have access to. So I just note that. Okay. So let's talk about, hold on. Now you can always fact check me, y'all. Okay. You can always fact check me. Always, because remember, I'm not one. I don't need you to cheerlead me. You can always definitely fact check me and look this up yourself. Okay. So it's important for you to know that I'm mentally ill, according to YouTube standards. Okay. And hold on. And it's important for you to do your own research as well. I just share things that I know from my own point of view, and I always respect your opinions because I don't know everything. Okay, I learn things every day. Okay, blood types matter. Okay, so let's go down the line of the blood types and the species, because again, in itself, we have a war going on, and they're attacking O positives openly. Everything is being weaponized towards the darker skin O positives, but my lunar O positives, you're getting it because you part of us. You my cousin, you my kin, O positive lunar. So my light skin O positives, you in the same neck of the woods as us. Okay, so you might as well say you're a brownie. Okay, you one of us. Okay, you just a lighter skin version. Okay, your versions aren't going to be maybe as strong because your lighter skin, there are some things alchemically that may not affect you if they're sending weaponized bioweaponry towards the darker skin O positives. But remember, all the Mexican groups, the strongest, all up in Mexico, that's all O positive. The majority of Mexicanos and those who come from South America. If you notice, us Carib that are from South America, we all have O positive. They come in for us. Remember, we're the most regenerative out of all blood types, even O negative. We live the longest and we're the most regenerative. We generally have a longer lifespan to give birth to children, more than the other blood types. They're gunning for us. I noticed it with all the foods and the type of things they're putting in the foods that are directly trying to attack O positive specifically. So for our family who's O positive, I'll talk about it first. I'm going to share some information about B's and A's. I didn't leave you out, I promise you, okay? So it's important for me to share these things with you. And what you'll notice is, like, people are like, why does blood types matter? You know it matters. You don't realize it. The people that you're most connected to is your blood type. You don't even know it. Like I told you, I was in a dance, I danced all the time. So I would go to this dance class, right? So much fun. It was in Florida. So we had other dancers and, like really professional. I'm a dancer. I dance every type, especially all Latin dances. I'm thebomb.com. I could dance, okay? I'm a Caribbean woman. I could dance every genre. That's me. The beat is in me. You know how Michael Jackson said the beat is in my heart. The drum is how I roll. I'm connected to the drum beat. I'm a jungle chick, okay? So I would go to this dance class, right? And always, like, we'd all meet up. And there was like this group of girls that would always meet up. Lunar women. I think there was one brown woman too. She was a anesthesiologist. And they would all meet up all the time. Then one day we were all standing out in the hallway and they were talking. And, I'm always sitting there, I say hi to everybody. And they were talking, and one of the girls said, "Oh my God, you're an O negative too? Oh my God, are you O negative?" She was like, "How is it possible that we're all O negatives?" So I just laughed because I know genetics. I just I smirked over there. I was like, "Oh, okay." They're attracted to one another. They have a connection to one another because they share blood types. Blood types, you have an affinity for those who come from your same background. It was so cute though, because they didn't know. And it was just, I think one just talked about going to get her blood test taken and how they wanted her to donate her blood. And the other ones were just like talking about, and even the brown one was the O negative. That's why I tell you, you got to be careful with just complexionism, because complexionism happens, but it didn't matter that they were different complexions. Like one was brown, the other ones were lunar, but they all connected because they all shared the same blood type, the same blood type. Okay. And you do it all the time. You don't even realize the pheromones of the men that you're attracted to are always connected to your blood lineage that matches you. Like whenever I smell O positive man, I want to eat him up. Like, especially if he's healthy, a healthy O negative man can walk by me if he's handsome, I'm just saying, I feel connected to him. And it's knowing my blood type and knowing that's where we come from. I always knew that my attraction, my affinity for men would always be based on blood types. The smell, his pheromones will always attract his proper mate and vice versa. The only difference now is that you have Willy Wonka and his League of Doom messing with the pheromones in perfumes and deodorants, and you're attracted to people who are bees and insects and reptiles. You wouldn't be attracted to them. They're putting it in the perfume. So you have like a whole reptilian shapeshifter. He's wearing this cologne that has humanoid type of pheromones and hyperpheromones so that you overlook his species. And then you mate with him and wonder why you're nauseous when you're pregnant. You wonder why you're throwing up every time he kisses you, or you're getting rashes. You're wondering why you're getting yeast infections every time he ejaculates inside of you. It's because he is adverse to you. And you've been tricked and prodded and primped and disillusioned to thinking that this is a person. Oh, is it cracking, y'all? Okay, let me take this out. Should I take it out? Is it really funky, Jay? Should I take this out? I just used it for the first time. Oh, my butt. my butt. Okay, just let me know. If I'm moving it too much, let me know, okay? Oh. I'm wearing these overalls for the first time. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm so real. I keep it so real on here. Okay. So let me keep going. So what happens a lot of times is you're really attracted to really your type, your species. And what would be the reason that they would want you not to want to mate properly is because if you notice the children are becoming alchemically imbalanced. I don't know. I don't only think autism happened just from let me say this. I shift my butt cheeks. Oh my God. You guys are so funny. I don't think it's only from the shots. Let me say that, okay? I don't think it's only from the shots. I think you're alchemically mixing with people that aren't right for you to mix with and have children with. And I think what's happening is when you mate with adverse species and blood types, you're gonna get these weird kind of weird types of aversions in your DNA structure, your structure. You know what I mean? Like you'll get cranial structure that's not harmonic, or you'll get the way your heart valve is developed is not as strong because it doesn't have as much DNA resonance that matches. So you get these weird kind of anomalies in children, okay? And it's important for you to realize that even when mating, they're purposefully making us mate with reptiles, insectoids, all these non-species. Listen, we got a lot of really, and we don't even talk about the mudflood children, their offspring, the Cabbage Patch children, the orphan train children. You mating with them, you don't have enough DNA because those beings were created in laboratories underneath the ground during the last cataclysm. And because they were in the last cataclysm and they were created under the ground, they only have about 4 or 5 generations of decent DNA to structurally make a human being. And then, you like my 90s? You know what I'm saying, DJ? You know what I'm saying, right? I got the 90s, overalls. what's that? DJ knows what time it is. I love wearing these. I feel like I could do the kid and play. Probably break my kneecap. Anyway, so it's important for you to realize that Willy Wonka and his League of Doom are now weaponizing all food, all water, all air, all of the different types of chemicalized, weaponized bioweaponry, all in your pharmaceutical. And it's purposefully targeting certain blood types and blood lineage. Now, you could get it too, negative Russes, because remember, they don't like any of you, all of you either. So you got A negative, B negative, AB negative. They don't like y'all. They feel like you are the rogue, because a lot of times with the negative Russes, the ones who jump ship first are A's and B negatives and AB negatives. Y'all jump ship because you know that them O negatives don't have anything good in store for you. So they will target some of your blood lineage, and that's why a lot of you get thrown under the bus. So even though you have access to some of the Hive, some of the information they may be putting out in frequencies might be negative to y'all. And that's where you get, like, remember, all A's, whether it's A positive or A negative, they're very sweet people. A's are very trusting, just in nature. Just when we're talking about blood types, I'm talking about A's just overall, like A's, negatives, and positives. They're very sweet. They're usually very trusting. And those are the blood types that they will use to try to get over on certain things. So if there's an agenda going out, they're going to run it through the A's first. Because the A's won't, it's just the nature. Like, you guys are good with nature. Like, the animals love you. The birds love you. The cats, the dogs, everybody loves an A. Like, even when I'm around an A and I want to fight with an A, I can't fight with y'all. I can't. Because it's like it's unfair. Because you're so sweet. And I don't care. Like, I've had battles with A's before, like, not real battles, because you can't really battle with an A. I've had like aversions. I didn't like something they did, or they didn't like. I can't do it because you're so darn sweet. And nature loves you. And I love the animals. And because the animals love you, just by the nature of animals rocking with you and protecting you, it makes me want to be a party to you. That's all good. But it could also weaponize. You can also be weaponized towards others because you're too open and receptive to forms of, it's not so much the propaganda. It's like you can be used as the transference, like to make us trust others. Like, an A can make me trust another that I normally wouldn't trust. Like, if an A vouched for someone, it's the nature of your blood lineage, of what you come from. It makes me okay. It makes me want to trust the other ones. And that's the problem. So A's, you have to really be really strong in making sure that your thoughts and the things that come across or people say to you or television or news, that you aren't susceptible to being so coerced by, especially sad things. A's are really coerced by sad things that make them sad. Things that make them feel vulnerable to the world, okay? So A's, that's just, I don't think it's negative, but in this terrible world of shapeshifters, demons, walk-ins, freaking cosplayers, and all these NPCs walking around, you can hurt some of us because we trust you. So pay attention to the things around you that make you feel a certain way. If it drives your emotions, you have to check them and make sure that it's coming from a legitimate source. If something is triggering you, A's, and they know where you are, make sure you pay attention to that. Now, B's, you already know how y'all get down. B's are the smartest of all the blood types. Yeah, B's, I'm saying you're smarter than us. I'm giving you props. Take it while you can. B's, you are the scientist. You are the micro scientist. You're like I would go to you to have my house built. I would go to you to get surgery. I will go and take your opinion about anything clinical wise or medical wise. You are the smartest. That's why dark ops like to put you in their programs, because your brain has the capacity to hold more information than everybody else's, and you can compartmentalize it so it doesn't overwhelm you, so you don't overload. Bees are the bomb.com, but they use you. And all these governmental programs, you're the first person that the CIA and FBI want. They know your blood type. And if you come from a good lineage of like soldiers or people who work in like federal places, like They're going to get you first, okay? Protect your bee children, though, because a lot of your Mensa programs, the programs who test children, that test your children on a scholastic level, they're going to test your bees and they're going to try to get them into programs. I would even say that if I looked in Harvard, Brown, Duke, Yale, all of your medical colleges, all your or even colleges that are more specialized in like mathematics or sciences, I would even say that majority of them are probably bees that were proficiently recruited by those universities. Okay, very very smart people. I'm not saying the other blood types. Remember, I'm not a bee, but I'm telling you that it's she's talking foolishness. Well, Leonard, why are you here? Leonard, be gone. If I told you I'm a mental illness patient, you shouldn't be shocked. I told you I was mentally ill. So now that you know that, then you're foolish for even stating it because you're dumb to be here. So you're the dummy who's listening to a dummy. So who's really dumb? I'm a dum-dum. I'm an idiot. So you're an idiot for telling me I'm an idiot. Leave. Maybe because I'm not talking about how wonderful and fabulous your blood type is. Okay. So, and again, so when we're talking about bees, it's very important for bees to realize that your brain has the capacity to hold information without you even knowing it. So your goal is probably to pay attention to your sub thoughts, the thoughts that hit your brain when you're in that beta state or that theta state, like things that kick up into your mind and you don't know where it came from. You need to pay attention to that. Okay? It's very, very important for you to do that because you can hold so much information. That's why would dark ops programs want to contract you? Then you got to say, okay, they want to contract me, but how would I know if they did if I can't even remember it because it's in a part of my brain that I haven't had access to, and I need a code to unlock it. Okay. So pay attention to that because remember all these mind control programming, all the television and social media. Now we're going to go into the NPCs, the empty seaters, the Cabbage Patch Children, and the cosplayers that are all online setting everybody up. Oh, thank you, Gaffy. That's setting everybody up. We have, did I go into all the blood types? Did I hit everybody yet? So Bs and ABs. Okay, let me touch ABs. And many of you heard this already. I don't want to go too deep because many of you have known me over the years. You know I talk about like all the blood types. ABs, they are so neutral. ABs are like the perfect equilibrium between the A's and B's. They are got that sweet and sour. You know, like sweet and sour sauce. That's an AB. If ever you get in a beef and you got a fight and you got beef with somebody in the office, always have ABs in your office. They are wonderful neutralizers. They are fair and balanced in that way. Every time I try to have a beef, now I haven't ever, gratefully, ever had beef with an AB. Even when an AB thinks I'm being egregious, because, you know, a lot of you do. You think I'm over the top. Sometimes, you know, if my breasts are out or I'm doing too much. ABs have a tendency to just see past that. They see what's balanced about me or in the midst of things. They're the balancers. Now, Japan, I give a big up to Japan because Japan has really mastered the art of utilizing blood types to hire people and to match with people as far as mating. They won't. They know that O's are strong leaders, and if they want a good leader in their group, they know to hire O's. Whenever they need someone who is really good in mathematics, science, or very finite things that require more critical or more specific type of studies or whatever their field is, they know to hire Bs. A's, they know are great at really doing things with nature or art or things like that. So they really have mastered. You can look into this. It's actually quite fascinating how the Japanese have broken it down. Okay, you should take a look at how they kind of set up their whole system and how it works for them. They aren't getting children that are non-cohesive because they know that blood types matter, and hiring people with the level of mastery that is inside of their Akashic records, like having someone work at their job who has specific skill set that their ancestors did really well at, it only makes their society more advanced and more cohesive. So you should check out the Japanese. They really mastered that. I really have an appreciation for them really taking that in consideration and really making their society based on blood types, because species and blood types matter, okay? All right, so let me talk about the Cabbage Patch children. Now, let me explain this, y'all. People always talk about cloning. Remember, I was kicked off 50 million times on YouTube for even mentioning cloning? Remember? Back when they didn't even want you mentioning the word clone, and then you were just like, everything was weaponized against you? Well, this is something, and I would really challenge, because it's what I know. And I think I'm pretty proficient in this, but I'm always open to hearing from our other researchers, those who work in genetics and heredity, and who have more proficiency even than myself. So I'm open to this. It's amazing to me that you can go online all over, and they will tell you that O negatives cannot be cloned. Now, what makes this really hilarious is because if I go to a museum and I have an original, right? I have an original Mona Lisa, right? Beautiful. I don't think Mona Lisa is beautiful, but just for conversation, I have Mona Lisa, right? And I have that beautiful artwork, the original. Whenever I make a copy of that, it changes the charge of it, so to speak. So by the nature of negative being because remember, who named it negative and who named it positive? A negative charge lets me know that it has already come from something replicated. Okay? It's been cloned. You cannot clone a positive roost without it changing into something negative. Okay? So if you clone a positive roost, it's going to automatically change into something negative. Okay? Are all O negatives clones? No. But clones are all O negative. Listen to what I said. Please do not get personalized and gaslit. Listen to exactly what I said. Can you clone it? Are all clones negative? No. But by the nature of it being, wait. By the nature of it being replicated, it automatically will be negative. Okay? So not every negative is cloned, but all clones will be negative roosts. I'm sorry. It takes me a minute to think about it in my head. Okay? Okay. Mina, you're out of here. Listen, they've got the NPCs here. They got all the NPCs coming in, y'all. The clones are coming in here right now because I mentioned them. The clones are coming in. The clones are coming in the live. The clones are coming. Hold on. Hey. Okay. That's why all of your political representatives are all O negative. You don't think that's weird? If you want to, I'm just saying, do you think that's weird? Why is it a point that you can have every country, every political system, every position of power, how come their preference is all O negatives? Do you ask yourself that question? So if I'm lying, you got to ask yourself why. Okay? Now, in terms of the Cabbage Patch children, the Mud Flood children, the orphan trains, they only had 4 to 5 generations of decent DNA to be able to replicate themselves. Okay? Whenever you have something that is a anomaly of some sort that's created in a laboratory, it doesn't have a lot of dexterity, like strength in its DNA, its chromosomal makeup. Okay? It doesn't. That's why you might be getting all these weird kind of things happening now, because they're at the end of their reproduction cycle. That's probably why they can't give birth to babies anymore. If you notice, like they'll say, "Oh, it's the food." What I'm sure they're adding it to it, but do they talk about the fact that a lot of these so-called hybrids that they created in a laboratory in a cabbage, or the orphan trains that they put in all those emptied out cities after the last cataclysm and pole shift, These beings only had a certain period of time that they could replicate themselves before they would become a dud, genetically. So when you see the population become less pliable or regenerative, I personally think it's because they are the offspring of the mud flood people. And they don't have a long regenerative, they only last for the next cycle, and then they die off. Why do you think they're moving all these other people from all these other countries to move them in to kind of build up the numbers over the United States? Because they don't have as many of them anymore. They can't create children. There's a genetic abnormality that happens when you replicate something. A copy cannot make a proper copy. When you make copies of things, the dexterity, the DNA is not as strong. Okay? Heirlooms, people who have strong DNA that are made naturally, were making love on a mountain, in the rainforest, on the deck, in a bed. You know what I mean? Those people have stronger DNA. And if they've been mating properly and they knew their blood types and they were only having children with the strongest, best, and highest quality DNA mates, they wouldn't have to worry about having children, because they'll be able to have children until the end of the cycle. But, you know, that's if they're not taking cucaracha kill shots every 5 seconds or eating a genetically homogenized food that's killing off their testosterone and their estrogen. They're not putting perms and fake hair, plastic hair on their head, ruining their magnetic field, okay? Scarlett, now, really, Scarlett, do you really come in here and ask if I like Palestine? I love anywhere where people are happy and healthy, okay? It's not even a conversation we're having. I do not agree what's going on in Palestine. I do not agree with it. It is absolutely horrific. And we already know that the Dark Kabbalists are in charge of that. We know that these demons are over there clearing the land so they can access the dam. What is it? The water? The canal? We know what these bastards are doing. I talk about it. Do you see me drinking Starbucks? That's how you know how I feel. Okay? That's all. So just know that. I don't support anywhere where they hurt anybody's children. None. None. If you see, they did it to the natives here. I mean, I don't know why you guys think that these are all demons. And why you ask me if I like do you like the United States? Because the United States is leading what's happening over there in Palestine. You know that, right? Israel is just a participant in what the United States is heading. Okay? United States is a bunch of demons. Okay? They're doing a whole bunch of dirt. They're nasty bastards, right? So all these Zionists and all these crazy people, they're mentally ill, and a lot of them are hybrids. They're hybrids, okay? Oh, hold on. I've got company. Hold on. Yes? Okay. Yeah, they're a whole bunch of hybrids. I don't even know if those beings are real. Anybody who could shoot a child in the head while the mother's running with them, those are not humans, okay? Those are bioborgs. I don't even know if those are like Borgs over there shooting those children, okay? And I don't know what's going on, but I just know that it's not new, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're doing it in the Congo. They're doing it in Palestine. They're doing it in United Fakes, because you know they all over here right now. They're doing it, they did it in Sudan. They're still doing it in Sudan. Where else are they killing off people? Who else are they killing off? They're killing off everybody on this planet, y'all. What they're doing in Palestine is what they did over here in the United Fakes. It's disgusting. And you know why they're doing it? Because there's probably a portal over there. We don't even know. There might be a Stargate. I never even looked into Palestine, ancient Palestine. There's probably a Stargate over there. We don't know. There's a lot of things going on that we can't see. We can only see from the angle of what's taught to us on television, okay? So don't bring up all these things. I don't like anywhere that hurts anybody, okay? And I won't support any country, any person, including the one I'm living in, that is hurting children. And y'all are talking about it's Israel. Do you know who's heading Israel? It's United Fakes. You know the people who like to dig tunnels over in Brooklyn? Okay? Those people. Okay. So none of them are human. So I don't really get involved in that. Because that's a whole conversation on If we're going to talk about Palestine, why don't you bring up the Congo? Why don't you bring up Haiti? Why don't you bring up Sudan? Why don't you bring up what happened over in the middle of Africa? You don't bring up that, right? Okay. Roadblocks, what's going on? Okay. What's going on, Roblox? If you tell me to shut up, I'll curse you and your entire family. Don't come in here and be disrespectful, because when you say things like that, I don't know who you're talking to. Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to somebody else? I'm just letting you know, I give you the warning, because remember, you coming on this feed and you don't know who's on here and you don't know where I come from. If you say things like that, don't get shocked that you have issues. Watch your mouth, okay? I don't know if it was me you were talking to, okay? Okay. If it wasn't, I'll keep it going. Don't hate, appreciate. You reported him, Terry? I don't know. Listen, the bots will come. These are NPCs, y'all. They come in. I put in all the spark words. All the spark words are coming in, y'all. Once you mention all the crazy words, they all start coming in. Anyway, so let's talk about the mudflood children and their offspring. Their offspring are the type of people, listen, you like my outfit? Thank you, Tanya. I'm going back, I'm going to do my kid and play. I'm going to go play some 90s music and make me feel good again, okay? When we talk about the mudflood children, you have to understand that these are beings that don't have any consciousness. They are genetically homogenized. They're created in a laboratory under the ground. They haven't any sort of good feeling. They don't feel well about people. They don't have compassion for others. They usually are highly programmed. In their cellular DNA, they're programmed with all of the things. Like, when people want to get a certain car, the mudflood people want to get it. If someone is a style, I don't know, I don't know if there's another style or trends coming up. All the mudflood people, their offspring, they're in their DNA, they're capped. So they uphold all the agendas. Any agenda that there is, that's how you could tell they come from mudflood people. They just uphold all the agendas. Whatever the agenda is, we're going to drive Mercedes that are blue today. All of them will drive a blue Mercedes. They're very mind controllable, okay? They don't have compassion. They don't care about what's going on in Palestine. They don't care about what's going on in Congo. They don't care what's happening if your father was hurt or sick because the Kukarachi kill shot. They don't care. But they'll pretend like they care, because they know that if you know that they're lacking empathy and sympathy and they haven't any emotional, they're driven by non-emotions, they'll know that you're onto them. So they'll pretend like they do. So you got to look in their eyes. The eyes are the keys to the soul, the key to the soul. Okay? You got to be careful with the mudflood people. You can't trust them. You know how they used to say, can't trust a big butt and a smile, that girl is poison. No, you can't trust the mudflood offspring. Those are the ones who used to have church service and used to have picnics, where they used to hang brown people with their children and have sandwiches at church, while they would send pamphlets out, and they would hang brown pregnant women while the baby would drop out of the woman's stomach and burn them alive. These are mudflood people, okay? They don't have any compassion. Those are the ones that used to throw little Negro babies into the bayou to catch alligators, to make alligator shoots. Those are mudflood offspring. I want their last names. I've been trying to get all their last names for the longest time. Some of you men, you mating with them and creating children with them and wondering why your children hate themselves. You have children with mudflood people's offspring. That's your fault. And don't come to me and be like, my children are possessed. They're growling in the middle of the night, climbing up the walls because you slept with a mother freaker. You created an offspring that's some sort of demon. They got all kinds of demonic possession things attached to them. You got her yoni is biting you. You got itches on your balls. Your balls don't work anymore. That's because you're sleeping with the mudflood women. You're so ignorant and so easily coerced by someone's status that you don't even care that you're mating with these demons. That's why I say you mate with these demonic blood lineages. You deserve whatever you get. All these hybrid children walking around saying they hate themselves, they're cutting people, running in malls, robbing people, because you're sleeping with demons. You're sleeping with them reptiles, those nasty mudflood offspring. They don't have any consciousness. Their children are savages. They're cutting people, shooting people in the street. They got a whole bunch of them in Brazil. Brazil is a hot spot for mudflood offspring. All those children up that just go around shooting people and so, those are mudflood offspring. Okay? They dumped them all in Brazil. That's why they don't have any conscience. Brazil is beautiful, the most beautiful people. I love them, but they know it's true too. You got some savages over in Brazil, and I personally think, if I had to think about it, those are mud flood offspring. Okay, they just lack consciousness, and then everybody wants to mimic them. You know what I mean? Don't mess with the mud flood. You keep having children with them. Don't come to me or any of the other doctors to help you. You can't help that cellular depreciation. You can't help them. They're climbing. They got possession. You know, her eyes are shape-shifting while you're having sex with her. What's wrong with you? Her eyes are shifting because you getting your rocks off. It's okay. And then your wand's not working anymore. You'd be like, oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, well, because you slept with the goddamn Cabbage Patch offsprings lineage. The children are being born growling out the womb. What's wrong with you? You can't get help for that. Anyway, I'm just saying, when you have children like Dahmer and all that stuff, those are mud flood children. Dahmer coming, he was born cutting up cats, trying to see the organs. You look into their eyes, they're in those mosh pits, banging their heads against the wall. They want to tattoo their faces. Those are all like some sort of hybrid, like non-emotional hybrids. They don't even feel pain. They like to cut themselves all the time. They want to jump off of planes. They don't have a feeling. Stop messing with those mud flood people. Okay, because they don't care about you, and those are the type of people that will hurt you and your offspring. They'll give you offspring that are dark. You want to have happy babies. You want to have babies that giggle when they're born. You want to have babies that are loving and compassionate. You want to have babies that love themselves, that wouldn't take in garbage in their bodies. You sleeping with these demons. Don't come to anybody for help because you have a demonic fetish. You like men and women that are dark. Okay. Yeah, like Blueface and Christian Rock. Those are she's got a mugshot on her face as a tattoo. Who told you who told you to desecrate your body? Like, just the fact that you would even do that lets me know that you're not real. And NPCs is like a program. NPCs could show up as anything. So you got to be careful too, because there's biological organisms that we're interfacing with that are just off, because alchemically and biologically they're not malleable to a healthy system. So they're highly, highly reactive to frequencies. So they're always reacting to like music or if they turn up the 5G frequencies, they react to it negatively. They become like animals. But NPCs is something different. Those are programs. Those are programs inside of the simulation. They're not real. When you walk out of the room, they disappear. They're part of the holographic system. So those are beings that they're going to uphold whatever the AI system projects for them to do. So maybe they're, when you talk to them too, because they loop a lot. NPCs are loopers. You have a conversation yesterday with them. Hey, how you doing? Oh, your mom, da da da. You go back the next day, it's the same conversation. Remember when you were like, remember when you went and watched Jumanji? Like Jumanji with The Rock and Kevin Hart, and they jumped into the Jumanji game and like they change into all these different characters, like their bodies change. But then when they got there, they would meet these NPCs, and like the NPC would just greet them. It would be a greeter. Welcome to Jumanji. Da 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 da. And then it would ask, "Hey man, how do we get through this? How do we do all this?" And then all of a sudden it would be like, "Welcome to Jumanji." Da 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 da. Because it is just looping. It's a loop. So they don't have any true consciousness. They're not sentient. They're just basically programmed people. And just be careful, because it's like Westworld, a lot of people after Cucarachis, when they transcended, a lot of people were replaced with NPCs and you don't know it, or robotoids. So you have people walking around who you think are family members, and you don't realize the real family member probably died, and there was a replication that happened like Westworld, and they were replaced. So now you're talking to your family member, you're like, why do you seem so different? Like you never used to eat chicken. I thought you were allergic to mushrooms. Like, oh, I got over it. Oh, really? And all of the updates that happen in this simulation. You have all the updates where things are changing. Like, I talked about the Mandela effect just being updates in the simulation. So I found this out, like, what was it, last year? That whenever we have a Mandela effect, like something changes, a slight difference in spelling and so on, that's an update in the simulation, like a video game, like an update. So it updates and then it changes something small, alters it. Okay? So you have these beings walking around. You got to be careful because, and people are like, oh, you're mentally ill. Yes, I am mentally ill, living in a simulated world with psychopaths and sociopaths. I don't know who could be sane living in here. You got a whole cosplaying man, woman online doing spells on me because she's mad I'm a real woman and I don't have to wear fake hair and makeup and purse my lips and talk and try to convince people how to mistreat sexes. She did a whole spell on me and she didn't think I know, but I know what you did, you dastardly charade. I know what you did. You're going to get it back too. The gift keeps on giving. You want to give a gift to me and my family? Well, I will extend the gift to you and yours. You didn't think I was real, right? Okay? Anyway, be careful with the cosplayers too. Because those are characters, that's why people are saying that they're men and women. I told you I'm a trans everything. I'm a trans frog, snake, panda, bird. I'm a lunar, a Hasidic, Orthodoxy Jewish man, and a deranged black man. How could I be that? Because we're living in a world where people can pretend to be something that they're not. We're living in a cosplay world. You've got all these characters online telling, oh, I'm a whistleblower. I've got 500,000 subscribers. And knowing that usually YouTube usually gets rid of channels that are any form of legitimate, but I've been able to manage and get past the algorithm and have 500,000 subscribers, but I'm really helping you. Anybody who's listen, let me explain something. This AI system isn't going to ever let anything that is helpful for you to wake up out of the simulation to be able to uphold a platform with more than 100,000 subscribers. They won't do it. Anybody above that is holding a space to just basically distract you, lull you to sleep, confuse you, overstimulate you. But there isn't any way, especially you've seen how YouTube got rid of all the most legitimate channels and YouTube YouTubers. We're all our best YouTubers. Y'all know me for years. Listen, we had some of the best YouTubers here, like 10. Listen, I used to be on here with 200 subscribers. Yeah, some of you remember. And like the best YouTubers, like they would watch the sun all day. They would see like the patch of tape that the NSA would put on that they would put over the sun so we wouldn't see like the bright light coming towards us. Like they would be out in the desert looking at the UFOs like straight on. Like we had the best YouTubers. There weren't any commercials. Nobody was getting paid. No NBC, ABC. They weren't here. Like that was the days when this was like a wild, wild west. Anything on here that's getting paid and is getting a check right now, they are all being utilized, whether it's mindfully or not. They are part of the YouTube system, and whatever they're doing, they are lulling you to sleep. They wouldn't have them on here with that many subscribers if that's not what they were here to do. Okay? They're not going to let him talk. You know how many times YouTubers call me a terrorist? They call me a terrorist. I have to come on here and tell you that I'm mentally ill and I'm a comedy act just to have a conversation. Just to have a conversation with you. Does that seem right to you? I'm just telling you, be careful with the cosplaying, because cosplaying is just not men changing into women, women into men. Cosplayers are people who act like they really care. Oh, they act like they're here to teach you. They act like they're here to help you. No, these motherfreakers are here to line their pockets however they see fit, whatever topic makes it more money for them at all, and they're here to lull you to sleep. And if the YouTube tells them that they can't talk about pocket rockets or cigarettes, they're going to stop talking about cigarettes. If the YouTube tells them they can't talk about the Kukarachi kill shot, they won't talk about the Kukarachi. They are here to uphold the system. They are part of the agenda. These are cosplayers of consciousness because they're not real. These motherfreakers are not real. Okay? And at the end of the day, When all the sleeper cells are being activated, these motherfuckers won't warn you because they're part of the system. If they warn you, they'll lose their check. Why ever would they come on YouTube? Now, let's take off all the paychecks off YouTube. Would they still be on here? That's your answer to how legitimate they are. If they're here, now I'm not saying you can't make money when you're on here. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that shouldn't be something that may be a sidebar to you coming on. But if that is your majority of the reason why you're on here, and that is the only reason that you come on every day to make your YouTube videos is to get a check, I would question their motivation. I would question, and I wouldn't follow anything they do long term. Consciousness doesn't come like that. Not if you're truly here to illuminate. And no one's really a martyr in that way. Because at the end of the day, I'm taking care of my family. My family is number one over everything and above everyone. So when people are like, oh, FleurBrun's all about our family, God darn it. Like, let me remind you, I am all about my family, all about them. The first thing I think about when I get up, and the last thing I think about is the love and the care and the dedication I have towards my family. So if anybody ever told you that is my main agenda, abso-freaking-lutely. That this girl used to come on and demonize me. Oh, she just cares about her family. Yeah, you don't care about your family. That hasn't anything to do with me. I love my family. And when I come on here, really in itself, you got to think, I've been on here a long time. I've been doing this forever. I've made some of the most amazing friends, really come in contact with some amazing beings. And that's what YouTube to me really meant. I love it. I've loved that I've met different blood types, different characters, different species. People have been aware of things that I haven't any clue about. I've learned just as much from you than you to me. So I know the importance of coming on here occasionally and talking to you and learning and growing and sharing. I know the importance, but I've been on here for a long time. I know OG. I wasn't on here when paychecks were coming with YouTube. Okay? When people are motivated by money, you have to always question how far that motivation goes. Very important. Because if money is their main motivation for being here, you can't ever rely on them as being someone that you should follow with certainty and with true blind faith. Because if the algorithm changes and then they're told they can't say certain things, how much of the truth will you ever get from them? If a girl can't come on here because her hair is messy and her makeup tutorial didn't work out that day, or she's feeling fat, how legitimate can she be to you if she can't even be authentic and transparent with you? I'm not skinny. I'm not coming on here combing my hair. I'm not doing makeup tutorials with you. I'm not coming on here telling you that I'm a perfect person and that I have a perfect life. That won't happen because it isn't true. It's actually, that's more, that's actually, it isn't true at all. So be careful with the cosplayers online. You've got people pretending to be certain things to basically get into your pockets. And if you don't mind, I mean, you may not care. I mean, maybe you listen to someone because they make you feel good about yourself. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but just know what it is. There's nothing wrong with it if you know what it is. Like if you know that this is something that's not real, okay, then engage and go forward with it. But remember, this is the age of TikToks. People just coming on to try to give information for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And it's easier for an Agent Smith, like a CIA or FBI, to come online because it's an open forum right now. How can you vet people out? How do you know that, like, Agent Smith, who sits on here talking about, like, Canadian prepper, and I brought him up, like Canadian prepper. Why is Canadian prepper talking about all U.S. information? Like, aren't you from Canada, sir? All you do is come on here and gaslight people all the time. Oh my God, it's an emergency. Oh my God. Oh yeah, yeah. And then you sell your merch that is basically like weaponized food that sits on a shelf. Like, you really want people eating food that can sit on a shelf for 20 years? Like, don't you think cancer is going to be an issue? Like, how good are the starchy foods that are in boxes and that could sit on a shelf? Anything that could sit on a shelf for that long, why would you even, if you're so caring about the people, why would you even sell them that? And why are you caring more about our country than you care about your own? Why don't you talk about your own information, Canadian prepper? Why even call yourself Canadian prepper? Why don't you just call yourself a prepper? You're going to come and talk about our country? How you going to talk about America? Pay attention to your own business. That's another one. You got people coming online and just utilizing scare tactics. Now, mind you, you're supposed to talk about what's happening. You're supposed to illuminate things that are occurring. But if every day you're getting gaslit, told that the world is going to end, after a while, your adrenals are going to freaking collapse. God darn it, it's an emergency every freaking day. You listen to him, you freaking going to have a stroke. I mean, God darn, let's talk about what's real. Yeah, things are happening, but God darn it, like he makes it seem like he's living in Canada all safe and cozy while here everything's imploding over here. We know what's going on over here, but pay attention to your own world. When people are coming and talking about other people's countries, like I can't really talk about what's really going on in Israel and Palestine and Congo. I just go with what's shared and the horrific things that I hear, and then I keep it moving. I can't really post on it because I'm not over there. I can't even talk about it. Now, when someone personally tells me that they're being affected, then I could speak on it. Then I'll be like, you know what? That I have a homegirl that's over there. She's saying it's really chaotic. Like, then it could really come from a better perspective. But if I'm just getting information from all these outside sources and I can't, it's like third party, fourth party, how am I confirming that? Like, this is a hologram, for God's sake. They could just be promoting this every day, all day, and it may not even be real. Like, we could literally be seeing things being bombed. Remember what was going on in Ukraine? You know who blew the spot on that? Do you remember? Ukraine was getting a whole bunch of craziness going on, right? So we're here, oh, it's awful. The Russians are killing them and so on. Don't you know we had one of the YouTubers, Mary Jane, go over into Ukraine and people were going to Starbucks and they were having parties and concerts and they were chilling out? Now you telling me that we got a whole war that you're taking all our tax money for. We're giving you all our tax money, billions of dollars, which don't even exist, sending it over to Ukraine. And we got the homegirl going over in Ukraine, getting a Starbucks, going out to brunch. The air looks cleaner than our sky. God darn it, I didn't see a chemtrail in their sky. Yo! And they tell, oh my God, it's awful. The people are being displaced. Oh, it's horrific. Meanwhile, listen, we should have gone over to Ukraine because apparently they were having more fun than we were. We were over here being gaslit, told that our money has to go to them because they're under. Listen, we could have gone over there and actually bought a drink for $1 as opposed to $5 and $6 paying for good water over here. Listen, Russia's chilling. We got the Russian YouTubers over there chilling. You got Tucker Carlson going over there saying that normally the groceries are $400, spending $115 over in Russia. Why are we living here? But according to everybody, Russia and Ukraine was buck wild. That's what I'm saying. This is all a hologram. You can't confirm. The only confirmation I get is from the homies. Boobs on ground. When I get from the homies, like I have homegirls in Romania, Russia, Israel, Palestine, over there in Congo, over in Kenya, Nairobi, over in Haiti. Like I can't get information unless I got somebody on the ground. So boobs on ground, that's how we get our information. I trust mothers who tell me what's going on over there. So when you have others telling me that when Willy Wonka is presenting an image to us that we can't confirm or deny, and then we got homies on ground telling us the opposite of what it is, we got to be careful because the social media is weaponized towards messing with our peace of mind. And a lot of the things we see are NPCs. Remember when we saw Scarlett Johansson? She looked like she was at a red carpet event. She looked real pretty. She was on a carpet and then somebody was looping behind her. We come to find out she's not even at the red carpet event. She has a green screen behind her. She's cosplaying like she's at the not the Olympics, the Oscars. If she can do that, what makes you think everything else we're seeing is real? That motherfreaker's not real. How do we know? I'm trying to move over to Russia. Russia, can you take me? I don't curse. You do serve vodka. I don't drink, but after living in this country, I might need a drink or two. I might have to come over to you, Russia. You're not trying to kill me because I'm an O positive or I'm brown. I think I might have to come over to your neck of the woods, Russia. Russia, will you take me? I think, or North Korea. I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, because these NPCs are going too buck wild. They trying to kill me with a bag of chips. They got safflower. Safflower is killing everybody, y'all. They got so many weaponized things for O positive. O positive. Let me go back to that. O positive. You cannot eat anything out in the stores. You cannot eat anything off of the shelves. They are weaponizing all foods to destroy us because we are strong. We are the warriors. We're strong leaders. We regenerate. Like you break one of our legs regrow and we're stronger. We last long. We're like the Duracell battery on fleek. They're trying to kill O positives, y'all. You should not eat anything from here. Leave and go eat somewhere else. All the food is weaponized. Corn has a whole bunch of mold and freaking, that's why they promote it to Mexicans. The corn is sitting in silos. So when they press it, it has a whole bunch of mold and freaking spores. And then you wonder why cancer rate is going up all over the place in those communities because the corn is being weaponized. And they know that certain groups of people like Mexicans and other Latino groups eat a lot of corn products. So what do? They create it. And then I looked at the other day because I was in a beautiful Mexican deli, cute little Mexican deli. I love them. The mom was so sweet. So the abuela was up in there. We were talking, kicking it. And then I looked at the Jello because I read everything. I just like to look at things and look at it. So I looked at the Jello. The Jello had this additive. And I was like, I've never heard of this before. I was like, this is Jello. It was in Spanish, but it was like a Jello. So I looked it up. You know what it does? It spikes your insulin. It fattens you up. This isn't freaking like in a Jello that they're serving in a Spanish area where little Spanish children, little Mexican children eat. Can you believe that? They're making us fat too. When people say, oh, you look so chunky when you're United States. Yes, because they're weaponizing the food and the freaking shots and they're targeting O positives. So it freaking causes inflammation and bulks you up. You're a fatty when you live in the States. You know how many people come from Europe? I had a girlfriend who came from Europe. She came over from Lisbon. She came to visit me in the States. Chilling. Don't you know she gained like 5 pounds in a week? 5 pounds. She was like, what? She was like, why am I gaining weight? She was like, the food is fat, is toxic. She went back to Portugal. Weight fell off. She didn't even work out. She didn't have to work out. The food literally caused so much inflammation in her, and she's a tiny lunar. So you could see the weight. Her face got bulky. Her arms got a little chunky. And she was like, yo, Del, she was like, come over to Portugal. She was like, come over to Portugal. Yo, we have our other C-star who just came from France. Melissa, she just went to France with the children. She had a good time. She's eating. All of her inflammation went away. She felt good. Everything went. What the freak are they doing? They're trying to kill the blood types. They're weaponizing the food, y'all. So it's not even like you just go. In Europe, it's different. And Canada, they're not putting all this craziness. They're trying to kill the O positives and actually everybody, to be honest. It's a bloodline war, y'all. The upper tier has control of the food, the water, the medication, the doctors, they're weaponizing the frequencies in your radio waves, the light frequency. This mother freaker. I sound like Canadian pepper. This mother freaker. This is what's going on. Why do you think I leave the country every once in a while? They'd be like, why is FleurBrun always leaving the country? Because I want to live. Remember Big Pun? It's gonna take my wife. It's so hard. It's so hard. Listen, they trying to kill. And I'm drinking Dutch Brothers. It's really good. This is probably trying to kill me too. Okay, so we talked about the bloodline wars. All positives in here. All positive Roosters. I'm telling you, all positives. Listen, as one of your species, you cannot eat all the food that's out here. This video was made dedicated to you. You cannot eat the macaroni and cheese. Yeah, it tastes good, but you're gonna have bubble guts. You're gonna get all kinds of spores in your body. You cannot eat the rice. You cannot eat You cannot drink the coffee in itself. Because normally when I make my own coffee, the coffee has spores. Anything in silos for everybody. I don't care if you're positive or negative. It all is sporish. It has molds. Anything in silos, unless you're cleaning it and you're killing the spores. And remember, what are the spores like and fungus like? They like radiation. It's so amazing that cancer patients, where that cancer is a type of fungus. I'm a liar. I don't know anything. I'm a cosplayer. I'm a comedian. Someone said it. I don't know that. It could be a fungus. We know that funguses go rogue when they have radiation. Why would you then put radiation in someone's body when you know that fungus loves radiation and it grows faster? Why? Why would you give O positive, O negative blood and call it universal when you know that O negative blood kills the babies of a positive in their stomach? Why would you say it's universal? If I didn't know any better, I would think that there is a bloodline war going on, and some of you don't even know that you're targeted. Bloodlines matter. Your blood type is everything. Blaster, you're absolutely correct. So you are a monkey. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. Just the name that you have, Blaster 69, you are an ape. There's ape people, right? And usually they have like a low vibration, where the ape people, they're called the hairy marys. Thank you for bringing it up. I wanted to talk about the monkeys. Blaster, you're probably from the monkey people. If you have a lot of hair on your body, your face, you think you play with your poop, you like a lot of anal play, you name yourself things like that, means you're a depreciated species. I'm so glad you came out of the closet. I came out of the closet. I'm happy you did. Thank you for coming out. I think some of us have to come out of the closet every once in a while. That's also a testimony, though, y'all, of people who name themselves Blaster 69, who come on and talk about them being monkeys. We need to support them coming out of the closet. When they come out of the closet and tell us that they're really ape people, and that's why they don't have any emotions, that's why they poop on themselves, they play with their poop. One of his people is, the holographic president, Biden. Remember, he poops on himself? That's one of his people. Big up to Biden. Your people were in here, Biden. Thank you. It's so hard. I love when they come out of the closet. I support you coming out and keeping it real. I love it. I could do that dance. Remember the WAP? They don't realize I get excited. Anyway, so you have these beings that you have all of this weaponized food, all of this weaponized airs. We have a bloodline war, y'all. Oh, positives, you need to get in line because they're taking our people out. Light skin, dark skin, it don't matter. It's all of you. All you O negatives that are lunar, they come in for you too. You feel it. That's why you're getting chunky and thick. You're not supposed to be thick. Listen, I looked at a picture of my aunt, my grandmother, and my great aunts. So as my great aunts when they first came to the country, they were all on the beach. This is what lets you know that they're weaponized the food. No one should be fat. We're eating less and people are fatter. They're calling me on the phone. Okay. So the fact of the matter is, like, everyone's fat. I looked at the picture of my aunt, my great aunt, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my great aunt. Yeah, my aunt, because it's my grandmother's. Anyway, you know what I mean. 3 of them. They were on a beach when they first came to the country. You know how beautiful they looked? So healthy. They didn't have any fat on their bodies. They looked so pretty, so healthy. You know how nice that is to see that? I loved it. It's just watching them, witnessing them looking so beautiful, so healthy. Their hair is healthy. Like it was like night and day. And everybody on the beach behind them was beautiful and healthy. Like, what happened to the people's bodies? What happened to everyone's bodies? Everyone's bodies is like trash. And what is that? How many years ago is that? So, What year was that? I can't even remember. Maybe it's like in 1950s, maybe 50s and 60s, maybe, right? So maybe the 1950s and 60s. You had them like, and if you go back and look at your grandmothers, go look at your uncles and your aunts back in the days, nobody was fat. Nobody was unhealthy. Their bone structure, their cranial structure, men had really strong shoulders. Everyone had a flat tummy. Like, what happened? Okay? Awake, don't eat the tortillas. They weaponize it towards us O positives. Don't eat the tortillas. If you have the tortillas, you have to make it yourself and you have to clean the corn. You have to clean the corn of the spores and the mold, okay? Because it's going to cause inflammation. This is all to my Mexicano family because I think you guys eat the most corn, like the most corn products. You have to really pay attention to that. And also with rice. Yeah, Clone Tyrone was a documentary of what they're doing to everyone. They're doing it to everyone. And also, be careful with all the high. I don't think I have to tell you about the high fructose corn syrup, right? Oh, Doris. Okay, hold on. I don't think I have to tell you about the high fructose. I think everybody in here knows about the high fructose. Nobody in here should be having high fructose corn syrup. Now, for my family in Mexico and in Honduras, I don't think Honduras you don't do it as much. Costa Rica, I don't have to worry about you guys. You guys are on point. Colombia, I didn't see too much in Colombia with the high fructose. I didn't really see it in Colombia that much. Brazil, I didn't see it as much either. But for our family in Mexico, please pay attention and tell like the abuelas, because a lot of times the abuelas, like especially they are the ones who make the food for the family. They're the kind of the ones to do it. Kind of talk to them and start cleaning off the corn products. Like if you can do the corn from scratch and make it yourself, then do it that way. But talk to your abuelas because it's hard because the old school people they do things a certain way and they've always eaten that way. So it's kind of like you have to go to the elders and try to see if you can kind of make it go down, make it kind of make amend some of the ways that you prepare things. Okay, just corn isn't good right now. It's in silos and it's being weaponized towards O positives specifically. East Africans eat a lot of corn too. I didn't know that. Wait, East Africa eats corn? Is that true? Did anyone say that? Can anyone tell me that? Is that true, y'all? They do? I didn't know that. Okay. So we need to talk to our East African family. But I don't know if they do they store it now? You know what you can find out, y'all? For those who are in East Africa, find out how they store their corn. Do they do silos as well? Or do they do like lower ground cellars? Because if they're not doing silos, it might be different. Can you guys find that out? Because I don't know. That would be good to find out how they store their long-term harvesting of the corn. See if they put it below the ground or they put it above. I don't, just let me know. I don't know. Because diabetes is just from, diabetes is, first of all, diabetes is probably coming more so from like too much sugar and everything, like spikes in sugar and starches. People don't realize starches turn into sugar in the body. It converts to sugar. So if you're a starchitarian, you're going to eat a lot of starches that convert to sugar. Rice and pastas and all things like that. You got to be careful with that because I remember years ago, we were talking about starches and like, I didn't realize how many people eat so much starch. Like in the Caribbean, depends on where you come from. There's a lot of rice, a lot of certain kind of grains, but in the further Antilles, we tend to just eat like legumes and fish, poisson. Poisson, legume, poisson, maybe some lamb, maybe some canard. I mean, things like that. Like it's usually just like fruit, legumes, and like a protein source, like meat source, like fish, mostly fish, right? In the Caribbean. But it's not really, they don't do too many grains. And then when I was in Brazil, they do a lot of tapioca. Tapioca is a kind of starch, but it doesn't convert as much to fat. Because I ate a lot more tapioca. They eat a lot of the things they do is tapioca and cassava flour. And with eating that, it may be my ancestors ate a lot of that. My chunk, my chunk, all my body kind of just leaned out naturally. And I would eat more. I ate more in Brazil than I eat here. And I'll gain more weight here in the States than I do there. Okay? More and more babies are being born with diabetes. What? It's the food, Sally. It's the food. It's the food. It's in the food. They're doing something in the food. Sally, next time, you know what you do? I don't know if you want more babies. Try to just, if you can. See, it's hard because I know a lot of you work. It would be good if you guys went and could take a little hiatus in another country where you're not going to have that worry. Just like, and even in Europe, Sally. Because I think if you can go to like Greenland, not Greenland, Iceland or Italy. You know, Italy has in the highlands of Italy, just so you can give birth, or go to Portugal, just so you can, the last stage of your pregnancy, so that you can kind of lower that in the baby and yourself. I don't know if you want to go, but you know, if you're going to have more babies. 27 to 30-year-old Mexicans be acting jealous of real black men at the job. What's that about? Is that true? Jealous of black, what kind of job? Why would they, I don't think that's about being Mexican. It might be a foreign thing. It might be because it might not be a black thing either. It might just be because they're American. You know what I mean? You don't realize, like, when you have immigrants versus Americans, that might be more the issue than the color. Don't add the color in there, because I come from first generation American. A lot of times it could be an American thing versus an immigrant thing. It may not even be that they're Mexicans. It could be any immigrant group. They could be Africans. They could be El Salvadorians. They could be Europeans that come from another country, and they may have an issue with how Americans do things. So don't equate it to just that, okay? Just be careful with that. A lot of times we put color on everything because America is the most disgusting. They put everything color on everything. That's why people are like, why do you talk about color so much? Because I live in the United States. All they do, like when I walk in a store, it's about my color. When I go to the doctor, it's about my color. So people are like, why do brown people talk about color all the time? Because we're faced with it all the time. That's why, because it's the freaking United States. We don't want to talk about it. When I go to Brazil, I don't have to talk about my color because I look like everybody in Brazil. I look like the majority of people in Brazil. So do you think I have to talk about color in Brazil? No, I don't. I could just walk around. I don't have to worry about going to a neighborhood and they're trying to lynch me or try to take my organs because I'm brown. Only in the United States. I think you people have to realize we're in a Satanist, Luciferian, Moloch worshiping, blood sacrificing country, with a whole bunch of Cabbage Patch children that have gone rogue. Okay? So stop. I mean, I don't want to put color on it, but when I leave the country, I'm cured from my color. When I leave the country, my beautiful copper skin, I'm just Dell. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about it. Even when you go into Europe, you know, other than them just staring, they love your skin. I love my skin color. Let me just state this, because I think, you know, I bring it up, but I love my skin color. I have copper skin. I love my hair texture. I love my eye color. I love myself. So don't get it twisted. When I bring up, someone said, oh, you're just being a victim. Do you think I'm a victim? I don't have to sit in the sun to get this beautiful copper color. Do you ever have it? I sit in the sun for a minute and my skin gets golden, beautiful, coppery brown. Why am I mad at that? Everybody wants that color. I have the most beautiful hair that my mother and father gave me naturally from my scalp. I have the most beautiful eyes that look like my father. Why would I be mad about that? My mother and father are beautiful, very handsome, beautiful couple. Why would I be a victim of that? You're mad because I like myself? And then you call me a victim when I mention that people are mad because I like myself? Come on now. There's nothing wrong. If you like yourself, then you should. But I like myself. And I love my color. And I love my hair texture. And I love my eye color. And I speak about it because everyone in the United States has a problem with my color. I don't. And it only becomes an issue when people are constantly trying to vilify people of color because they're mad at it. Like, why are you mad? My girlfriends who have bright blue eyes and blonde hair, they're not mad at me. They talk about how beautiful my hair and skin is, and I talk about how beautiful their hair and skin is. Why are you mad? And let me just state this for another person referencing apes in here, Planet of the Apes. Let me give you some genetic facts. This is something I do know. If you notice on my skin, I have no hair on my face, no hair on my beautiful boobies, no hair on my bum bum. I've got hair in the places that it matters. My arms don't have a whole bunch of hair. That also means that I'm not mixed with ape. People who are mixed with more primate, they have a lot of hair on their body, their back, their stomach, and their face. Also, they have cranial structure where their cranial structure bows out some. They also like to play a lot of anal games. They like to play with their butthole. They like a lot of anal things because that's very ape-like. They like to also have sex with anything that moves, like animals. They're big into pedophilia. Those are ape type of behaviors. So before you come in here, there isn't any hair on my body, nor my face. I don't have to go and wax all the hair off of my face or my back or my stomach. But the ape people do. And guess what color is the skin of an ape when you shave it off? Stop it. Stop it. You don't want me putting a mirror in front of your face and your ancestors' face. Okay? None of my ancestors were picking out of people's butts. None of my ancestors were still having sex with animals. Okay? When you get all the hair off your back and your chest and your face, and you start acting like a human and coming into someone else's life that is quite human and less primate than you, stop projecting. Okay? Because I can guarantee you pick your butt. That's why we have all this anal copulation conversation and everybody wants to do it, because picking butt is an ape-like quality. And if you notice, all of the people in the government, how do they look? Do they look like me or do they look like you? Boo. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay? Go get a wax. Maybe you'll feel more human and you'll be able to have a conversation with really intellectual people without defaulting to like degenerative statements that are blanketed with your own projection of who and what you are and what you come from. Don't play with me. Anyway, next conversation. That's a mud flood. Those are mud flood people, y'all, who come in here and do things like that. They don't have any consciousness. They're basically grown in a laboratory under the ground. They're allowed to go rogue. They uphold the governmental system, but they're not going to survive the pole shift. The pole shift is here. They can't even survive under the sun. So I'm unconcerned about them. That gentleman right there, he better leave the hair on his body because it's going to protect him from what's coming in there with the ultraviolet lights that are coming here. That's going to destroy his endocrine system. His balls don't he probably doesn't even have a penis that works. He's the reason why Cialis and Viagra were created. You know that, right? Let me do a ball test, sir. Do you stand erect in the morning? Is it stiff and hard, or is it like wet like a noodle? Because all the hair is like tangled and like got it caught up. I'm sorry, y'all. Do your balls hang low? Do they waddle when they blow? Oh, my dogs are trying to get out. Do your balls hang low? Do they waddle when they blow? Let's do a stick test. I can do an examination for you, sir. Are you ready? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I digressed. Let me move forward. So blood types matter. I only made this for fun. I hope this video was pretty decent. We had a lot of trolls. Actually, it means something. When you get that many trolls coming in, it actually is a good testimony that they're really afraid of me. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, they're really afraid. Like, I'm just a mom. I don't really do anything. I come on here, I play with me and my YouTube people. We just talk. Like, why are you really mad? Why you got to send your minions, your AI minions over here? Why don't you go over to the cosplayers over there on the other channels, pursing their lips like this? Hi, guys. How you doing? I'm just such a wonderful person. Why don't you go to those channels? Leave me alone. Anyway, y'all, I'm not going to stay on long. I hope this was helpful. I kind of stayed on task a little bit. No, the trolling is a sign. Like they're really excited that I came on. And let me just give my PSA again. This is a comedy skit. I'm not real. I'm a liar. Oh, wait. I am a trans frog, bird, panda, snake, a Jewish Orthodoxy Hasidic white male, and a deranged black male. That is what I am. So I am part of the trans community. This is a comedy skit. Nothing I said is real or legitimate. As long as you know that, when you come in here, you know what you're getting into. All right? So y'all, I'm going to end this live. I'm going to go inside. A panda snake. Imagine crossing a panda snake. That's kind of wild. I look a little weird. Anyway, sorry there was so much trolls today. I hope I got some of the conversation. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me before I go? I don't know if I hit the topic okay. I try to stay on topic, but I don't know if I hit it today. I'm going to go out and try to... Yes, this is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, Yafi. This is for entertainment purposes only. I know nothing. Oh, and they're chemtrailing. Oh, I must be hitting a chord in the simulation. The simulation is really upset with me right now. The clones? Oh, cloning. Oh, boy. A lot of the people you're seeing out here, y'all, are not even real. A lot of the celebrities, they're all gone. Either they've been deactivated because they were robotoids, or they've just been put back in the box into post-pole shift, or they're going on their Epstein Island and going with all the trafficked children that they're stealing over the border and going over there eating organs, having sex with children, and doing what they do. But majority of the celebrities are gone. They wouldn't be walking around with chemtrails all over the place and food that's so diabolical. If you see any celebrities walking around, they're not real. And if they are, they're low tier and they don't really care about them. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't worry about, if you're looking at celebrities like they're real, anybody out here? Yeah. See if they're walking out in the street. See if they're walking out in the street. All right? See if they're like casual people walking out in the street when there's chemtrails. You're not going to see that. Okay? And if they are, they're low tier. That means they don't really care. Or they might be some sort of clones. You know, they might be clones. Like, what you're seeing with Kanye West, that's not Kanye West. That's another character. He's walking around with his handler wife. Remember, she had blonde hair. She dyed her hair blonde. Remember when they have a celebrity under control, usually they dye their hair blonde, but they didn't do that. They dyed her hair blonde, meaning that she's his handler. She's watching over the robotoid. He's not real. Whatever that is, that's a bad clone. Okay? They think it's real because he's still saying outrage. He looks mentally ill, totally. And there wouldn't be a time that Kanye West would ever allow his daughter to walk around with a slut. She is. She's walking around butt naked in all neighborhoods. What kind of woman does that? What kind of respectable woman walks around and all of her body, including her vagina, her yoni, is showing publicly and giving a blowjob to a man in Italy on a boat? That's because she's his handler. She has nothing to do with that. That little girl, that Northwest, Kanye wouldn't ever allow his daughter to be around such a character like her. He wouldn't ever. Whether Northwest knows if that's her father or not, I don't know. But that is certainly not someone, just knowing Kanye over the years, he wouldn't have ever had his daughter around something like that. Okay? But maybe not. Maybe he would have, because look who he married and created a child with. So maybe I'm wrong. Okay? Yeah, but she's definitely his handler. Whatever she is, she dyed her hair blonde. She had really dark hair. She dyed her hair blonde. That's to say that she has him under control. Okay? All these celebrities, Taylor Swift, all these people, these are not real. They're not real. Taylor Swift is the Bioborg of that Levine character, the Satanist character. Remember, she was Zeta or Z. What's her name? Xena. What's the Satanist chick that used to be down with the Levine Satanist? What's her name? Like Xena or something? She's that character. I think she's a Bioborg. What's her name? Xena? What's her name, y'all? I forgot her name. Like Xena, Zeta, some sort of Z name with the Levine sector of Satan, the Satanists. Yeah, that's her. Yeah. She's a Bioborg of some sort. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's upholding whatever that character is. None of these people are real. I don't know why we even think. Yeah, she's a robotoid of some sort. No, it's not Antony. It's, I forgot her name. Like Zeal. I forgot what the name was. No, it's not. Oh, Kate Middleton? I think Kate Middleton is a freak. I think she's like an English freaky kind of girl who just got caught up. Xena, thank you, Stephen. Xena. I think she's like a freak. I think she's like a sexual deviant and so on. I think Kate Middleton puts a front up. Just from what I heard on the back leg. Don't quote me on this, but I heard word on the curb is she's a little freaky. And that situation behind closed doors, they doing freakiness with other people. That's what I heard. I may be wrong, but you know, I got boobs on ground in every sector. And I heard that she didn't disappear because she was sick. She disappeared because she was out of control. This is what I heard. I could be wrong. Who's to say, right? Yeah. You think of the royals. What do you think? You ever read the Anne Rice series? My girlfriend had me read that once. It was so diabolical. But when you hear what the royals do, they put on such a harsh face in front of you and behind closed doors. You know, there's something to that. I could be wrong. Okay? Yeah, I said boobs on ground. I got boobs on ground in every country. So when I want to get real information, I don't really wait for third parties, fourth parties, because I'm respected by moms and women in other countries, and I get all the tea. I get tea in China. Isn't that cute? I get tea in China, Japan, Romania, Poland, Italy, France, definitely Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Mexico, straight up Mexico, Honduras, St. Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Miami, New York, Philly. I get it all. So I don't wait for information to come through the airways. I get the boobs on ground to give me the real. Okay? Big up to all the boobs on ground. That's who I listen to. So when I really want to find something out, Israel. I got boobs on ground in Israel. So don't play with me. So if I want information, I go straight. Estonia, that's right. I got Estonia in the house too. I get it straight from the horse's mouth. And Bulgaria. Bulgaria as well. Russia. Only at times because our homegirl goes back and forth to Russia. Yeah. She said she's a Fed. Evil Peter. You know, Peter is a federale name. You're projecting evil Peter. You're the Fed. You're the CIA. Just the fact that you said that makes me think that you're the Feds. Only a Fed would say that, because that's not even a term we use. We would say like agent. You said Fed, so that makes me think you're a Fed. Are you a Fed, Evil Peter? That's why your name is Evil Peter, right? Because Peter is, anyone with the name Peter, Peter's connected to things that are demonized in the Bible. Peter, who are you really? Are you going to drive by, Peter, with your federales? Yeah, you're gonna send your federales to triangulate on my house with those chemtrails above, Peter. They're all in here. She's a Fed. Look, Bill Brasky. Look, Bill Brasky's in here too. They're all in here, y'all. Oh, this is cool. Wow, I'm causing that much attention, Sea Stars. Holy cow! The Feds are in here, and they're telling you they're Feds. Let me state this, because you know a Fed cannot tell you, cannot lie to you. I am in absolutely zero way a Fed. I haven't worked for the government. I haven't worked for the Feds. The CIA hasn't hired me. Willy Wonka's not paying for me to come on here. I work for zero governmental agencies. That is a lie. You're coming here as a liar. And the fact that you said it makes me know that the Feds are in here. Darn. That's crazy. The federales are in here today. Why are they, okay, y'all, you know what this makes me think, everybody? I actually think that something's going to happen. You know why? Because we never got this much trolling before. This means a false flag is coming, y'all. Because they don't come on my channel that often anymore. Sometimes they do, but they're coming so strong here now, it makes me think that we're about to have a big false flag. They don't do this. It's very strange. We know when they come in, because remember, some of you have been on part of my channel for a long time, but for them to come this strong for no reason, it's not like we were talking about anything crazy, but why would they come like this? Huh, look, Stephen Bryant said I have demonic earrings. Where are they coming from? These are bots. Huh. If she thinks the Ankh is evil, you already know she's an NPC. And Ankh is evil, the woman's womb is evil. Wow. This is wild. Okay, this is a good sign, y'all. Yeah, we don't know why they're doing it, but they came on here. So this is a sign, y'all. Okay, so boobs on ground, we got to pay attention. There must be a false flag coming. She actually, yeah. Yeah, this is Stefan, all the bots came in. So I think because they call me a Fed, it's the Feds on here, and also there must be a false flag because there's a reason why they're coming on this strong. I never caused this much reaction, not lately, not like this. Okay? We need to pay attention. So we're going to discuss this tomorrow on Zoom. We're going to find out what's happening. We know that the eclipse is coming. For the federales to come like this, maybe there's going to be some sort of false flag. Okay, so we need to pay attention. What were their names? Evil Peter. Can you get the names of the guys who said this? Evil Peter. No, I'm not paranoid. Evil Peter. Nerdy Digger. They've got weird names too. Nerdy Digger. Y'all go to that channel. Check them out. Evil Peter. Let's check them out. Because wherever they're coming from, maybe a detail. Well, let me see the rest of the names. This is exciting. Stephen Bryant. I've never seen you before. Stephen Bryant. Okay. Nerdy Digger. Okay. It's kind of like nigger. So you're really trying to say the word nigger, right? Because that's why you have nerdy nigger. That's kind of like you're using the words like that to kind of so you're really using nigger. Okay, so you're one of them. Who else do we have in here? Okay. Where else? Okay, Stefan. Okay. All right, I'm just going to pay attention, y'all. This is a false flag. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, we're going to have fun. Okay. Listen, we were bored for a little bit. Boobs on ground, y'all. Oh, this is exciting. I say whenever I get this kind of attention, because remember this happened with Cucarachis when I was telling you the Cucarachis was coming and they did this. They did this right when Cucarachis came, y'all, and I was warning you. So that means something's about to happen. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, this will be good. I'm excited. Oh, we get excited when listen, the matrix was getting a little crazy. The simulation was getting a little. We were waiting for something to come. This is crazy. Diva. This is exciting. Why am I looking for something negative? I just looked in the chat. Why are you talking about me looking for it? I just looked what was in the chat. If I was looking in the chat, then it's the people in the chat that were doing that. Why are you projecting that on me? I'm just paying attention and observing what was in the chat. It's because you've got those demonic earrings on. Where'd she go? Oh yeah, we've got some interesting characters in here. Wait, how can I delete? Okay. Who are you? Stephen Bryant. Okay. How do I? Oh, you keep going. Let's get rid of you. Bye. You're off my channel. Wow, it's exciting. Yeah, I need to listen to the good French song. Okay. All right, y'all. Oh, this is so much fun. I just think it's exciting because again, if they actually give us like a heads up when something's about to happen. So we get excited because it could mean there's going to be a false flag because they generally don't come to the channel. And also they're suppressing people coming in. People are texting me saying that my live is not showing up. It's showing that I'm alive, but a lot of people can't access it. So I don't know what I talked about that triggered it. So can someone, what could I have said that triggered them to come? The bloodlines? Or maybe I'm telling you not to eat certain things. You got to pay attention to what would cause them to come. Because I didn't put anything in the title that would have really triggered them. Stephen Bryan, didn't I delete you? How are you in here? Didn't I just delete you from my channel? How'd you get... Listen, y'all, I got rid of Stephen Bryan. That's how you know they're an agent, and they were able to come back in here. That's crazy. I got rid of them, and they came back in. Oh, wow. Anyway. Who is this person coming in here with... let's get this person out. I don't know who they are. Some weirdos in here. Wow. Okay. I think we're clean now. Wow, mods. I'm sorry, Yafi. We only had a few mods in today. Normally, we don't need that many trolls. Yeah. Okay. Look out, everybody. Let me go inside. Anyway. All right, y'all. They can't really spy. You know, they can't really spy because all I do is, there's nothing I say that's not transparent. So they would have to, I don't really sneak anything because it doesn't make sense. Have you seen the Drake leak video? No, I heard about it. Was it interesting? He probably leaked it himself. You know, Drake is from like, I used to watch him on Degrassi. Big up to everybody who watched Degrassi. Did you guys watch Degrassi? I used to watch Degrassi Street and Degrassi High. I know, I'm such a geek. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got some weirdos in here. Yeah, they set the bots in here, y'all. Interesting. Wow. Look at them. They're like weird. They're all in here. Wow, like pervs. I'm just knocking them out. Let me knock as many trolls out of here as possible, y'all. Because I want them to be unable to come back. Okay. All right. I think I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. They're coming. Yeah, they're weird. Yeah. Never had this many before. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go. I hope this was helpful. If someone could do a timestamp, I don't know if you can. If you could do a timestamp for when I start the conversation, I don't want people to, like, because we were talking at the beginning. So, all right, I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow on Zoom. I hope this was helpful. I don't know how much of this topic I got into, but I like talking to you. I enjoyed, oh, wait. Here she goes. Bye, loser. Okay, there you go. Okay, you're out of here. I love it. I got her, diva. I don't know where she came from. And she's using words like loser, so it makes me think she's a bot. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go. I had a great conversation with you. It was very interesting, all the attention that came. So let's look to the sky, look to the algorithm. Something might be coming soon because they came a little strong today. So we'll see. All right. So I hope everybody's well. Enjoy your day. And we will chat another day. Okay? Peace.